Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is the Bible study that goes where no podcasted Bible study in the Psalms, studying it verse by verse, recorded in Sharonville, Ohio, has ever gone before. This is Daily Dose Radio, and I'm so glad that you joined me today. And we're looking today at the last verse of Psalm 131. It's verse 3. We're going to do the whole verse today. Yay! But it's only 2 phrases. It's a little couplet here. It's very, very powerful and reminds us of something that we've seen before. So let me read for you my translation of Psalm 131, verse 3. Let Israel hope in the Lord, both now and forever. Short, isn't it? And it's kind of different than what we've had, because this psalm, as well as Psalm 130, has been a psalm of personal, descriptive, intense, emotionally laced praying. That's exactly what these 2 psalms are. Psalm 130 was that great psalm of confession of sin, contrition. This is a great psalm of humility, and they both end the same way, actually, because if you look at verse 7 of Psalm 130, we have the exact same phrase that begins verse 7 as begins verse 3 in our psalm today. Verse 3 of Psalm 131 says, "Let Israel hope in the Lord." Verse 7 of Psalm 130 begins, "Let Israel hope in the Lord." Now, in our verse today, verse 3, we have both now and forever. So that eternal nature of hope is expressed. In Psalm 130, he gives us a little more information about hoping in the Lord, because you're going to hope in the Lord because with the Lord there's mercy, with him is plenteous redemption, and he will redeem Israel from all his iniquities. So that was a testimony and exhortation of the faithful. I mentioned that last time, and the confident confession of the prayer in Psalm 130. And today in verse 3 in Psalm 131, David ends this prayer by, instead of being personal now, because he's been talking in the first person, "My heart, my eyes, I do not run. Surely I have composed and stilled my soul. As a weaned child upon his mother, my soul is like a weaned child within me." And then suddenly we go from the first person, which has been in almost every phrase of the psalm, up until verse 3, and then we become communal. We have again another confession or testimony that's given to the community. Let Israel hope in the Lord. Remember, humility, remember what Weiser said? Humility is the prerequisite of genuine trust. And you kind of have trust to have hope. And so if humility is the prerequisite, if it's the ground for genuine trust, then now let's build on that. So let all God's people, that's what he says when he says Israel, all the people of God, let them all hope in the Lord, because in the Lord is the only place for true hope. It's the only ground for that to take place. That's the seed bed where we plant gospel seeds, is hoping. That's the place. We hope in the Lord, and like a weaned child, I've composed and stilled my soul. I'm not exalting my heart. I'm not lifting up my eyes. I'm not running after great things too wonderful for me. No, this is the simple man who's saying, I'm not done any of that, but rather I've composed and stilled my soul. Let Israel now. It's not just for me. This is not just for the individual. This is for the community. Let the church hope in the Lord now and forever, because the Lord is truly trustworthy. He is worthy of hope. He is the only source for true hope. So I hope you'll join me again next week. We're going to look at Psalm 132, the first half of it, on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.